everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we are finally here. We are bringing you the best books of 2017. I'm going to do things a little bit differently though. I'm going to do it a little bit of superlative style, and we're going to make it a best of video with different categories. I really wanted to do something a little bit different and a little bit more fun for the 2017 best of video. For the first category that we're going to do is going to be the best cover of 2017. And the winner was Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. I really love this cover because it focuses on the cosmos and this human being just staring up at the cosmos and staring up at this vast world above it. I really like the colors on this one. So for me, the best cover of the year goes to Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. My next category is the most unique plot and the most unique world. And for that, I have The Handmaid's Tale written by Margaret Atwood. I think the chilling part about this plot and the chilling part about the world that we have set up inside The Handmaid's Tale is that it's not that far from our own reality. It's really just like there's a thin veil between our reality and the reality that we have found in The Handmaid's Tale, and I think that's why people really gravitate toward this book. So this book takes place in this dystopian Chicago. There are bits and pieces of the reality of Chicago that we live in that were left behind, and then the Chicago that has stayed behind inside The Handmaid's Tale. Also, just the fact that perhaps the human race is condemned because the ability to produce children is not a guarantee. We know what it is like to live in a society where women can have money, where women can have property, where women can read. Obviously, I'm a huge reader, but to be forced inside this society where where Offred remembers what it's like to have her own bank account and to be able to read books, and to live in this world where she is only given coupons with shapes on them because they don't want women to read. What a ride. What a ride in such a short novel. So the most unique plot and world definitely goes to The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. The next category is the best plot twist, and that goes to Illuminae, written by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It's not until about page 300. Page 300 when shit really starts to hit the fan and you are no longer just reading these transcripts and these video feeds, and you're really sucked into the action, and it's the halfway point. It's the halfway point that really takes you there. So the best plot twist for me of the year was Illuminae, and that is why Illuminae got 5 stars for me this year. The next category is the best action sequence, and that award goes to Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I just posted a complete spoiler-free and spoilery review on Ship of Magic, so of course they will be linked down below if you want to check them out. The action in this book, especially at the very end, was insane. Like, we spent a lot of time building up characters. This is definitely more of a character-driven book, but there was so much action packed into the last couple hundred pages, and not in a bad way. Normally that kind of bothers me where I'm like waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen. There's lots of things that happen that lead up to this pivotal moment. It left you like hanging by the edge of your seat to bring you into the next book, which is Mad Ship. I'll be beginning that soon. There's deaths, there's bad weather, there's a little bit of a riot, there's pirates. The action in this book has it all. So the best action sequence goes to Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. The next category is going to be the best or the most emotional read of the year, and that goes to Assassin's Quest, also by Robin Hobb. Robin Hobb just gets me. Let me just say that Robin Hobb was my champion of 2017. So you're going to see a lot of Robin Hobb in a lot of these categories. This is the final book in the Farseer trilogy. A lot of people didn't like this book, which is insane to me. I really enjoyed this book. Fitz goes on his own little quest, and he breaks away from the rest of the world that he grew up in, and already that was really heart-wrenching to me because of the tragedy that he has already faced in his life. He's pretty much on his own. We meet several characters along the way. Some of them are familiar, some of them are not familiar, but once we get to what he is searching for, it's so emotional for me. I think it's really emotional for Fitz as he's recounting all the action and the events that have happened in his life, and I think this moment is a very pivotal moment for him as a man, and for him coming into his own manhood and his identity of who he is outside of the world that he grew up in. I could go on and on about this one. I was extremely emotional over this, and I didn't think that I could pick up Ship of Magic and the Live Ship Traders trilogy after this book completely wrecked me, but obviously I moved past that because I'm now in the middle of the Live Ship Traders trilogy. My next category is the most fangirl-worthy book, and that is The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter, written by Michael J. Sullivan. I have just posted my review of this one. This is my spoiler-free review that I just posted. I'm saying it's a fangirl-worthy moment only because I legitimately fangirled out and participated in a Kickstarter campaign to be able to purchase this book. This book is not available in bookstores or on Amazon yet. You have to purchase it directly from the author, and I made sure I got a copy of it through that Kickstarter campaign, and he autographed the book for us. So I have that going for me. This was my biggest fangirl moment. Getting all of the Kickstarter updates and being up to date with the printing process, the shipping process when it was getting shipped out, all of the updates. It was a very intimate fan experience because you were getting direct updates from the author and being able to communicate with the author and knowing what his wife was up to and having his wife communicate with us and just thank us for the purchase of this book. A complete fangirl moment. So this is The Disappearance of Winter's Daughter, written by Michael J. Sullivan. So let's talk about our best male sidekick. I couldn't pick one, I have two. So my first best male sidekick goes to the Fool in Assassin's Quest and the Farseer trilogy, written by Robin Hobb. His character really comes into his own. We get to spend a lot more time with him inside this book, and he is a character that just gives all he can. He gives every bit of him to the people in his life because he believes so firmly in the mission that he has set in front of him, and so much so that we get an entire trilogy about him. We get the Tawny Man trilogy, which includes Fool's Errand, Golden Fool, and Fool's Fate. I cannot wait till I get to those books because they're all about the Fool. And then, of course, the very last trilogy that Robin Hobb has written is called the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, and I know he's such a really important character as we move forward. The other cool thing about the Fool, and I refer to him as a he because Fitz himself refers to the Fool as a he. He's a little bit of an ambiguous character in regards to his gender because there are characters in this book that have also characterized him as a female, and they believe that the Fool is female. Fitz goes up to the Fool and he says, "Hey, Starling thinks that you're a girl." The Fool's response is, "Why does it matter?" Oh, love. Robin Hobb has answered that question before, is the Fool male or female? And she said, "We don't really know." And that's why there's never been a chapter written from the Fool's perspective, is because there's this mystery about the Fool that we may never get an answer to. So we have The Fool. This is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. And you had to know this book was coming. You had to know this book was coming. This is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and then Bast, who is Kvothe's companion inside The Name of the Wind. He is another one of those characters that is more subservient to Kvothe, but he gives every part of himself to Kvothe because he believes so firmly in what Kvothe is doing. The very end of this book, such a great scene. I cannot wait to read The Wise Man's Fear and read and learn more about what Bast is and who Bast is and get to know him as a character. So the next category would be the best female sidekick character, and I have Age of Swords, written by Michael J. Sullivan, and my best female sidekick character is Minna. And Minna's actually a wolf. So go figure, my favorite female sidekick character is Minna. Minna the wolf. They often refer to Minna as a brave and beautiful wolf, the wisest wolf in all of the world. We get a lot of Minna through Suri, who is this child mystic and has a deep connection to the wolf. Suri serves as sort of a conduit to what Minna's thoughts are and what Minna's feelings are, and Minna doesn't talk. Minna's a wolf, but we feel the things that Minna is feeling through Suri, and I guess you could say Suri is my favorite female sidekick, but no, it's Minna. Minna is selfless in her actions. She is a team player, and what becomes of Minna is completely mind-blowing. It's one of the biggest warrior revelations, no pun intended, that have ever been dropped in one of these books. So Minna is a wolf, and she was my favorite female sidekick of the year for 2017. The best ensemble cast, the Vestrit family in Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I told you you're gonna get a lot of Robin Hobb in this video, but the Vestrit family, they are the ones that turned the tide for me. Again, no pun intended. I'm trying not to be punny, but what are you gonna do? They're the ones that turned the tide, turned this book around for me, because I was having a difficult time getting into this book. The Vestrit family, we get different generations of male and female characters inside this family, and the interconnectedness that they have, but also the separateness that they have from one another, their interactions with one another, and how they're dealing with how their roles in the family have changed. We have the older generation who is trying to preserve the family name, the middle generation who is trying to make a name for themselves within the family and keep their family name pushing forward into this new world, and then we have the younger generation who just don't care about any of that. I will say, Robin Hobb just knows how to write herself a character. She completely nails what it's like to be a conniving teenage girl without making her vapid and flat. And she also puts us into the mind of a pirate who sleeps with whores and doesn't really care about their feelings, but maybe he does care about their feelings. So the best ensemble cast goes to the Vestrit family in Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. A close runner-up for ensemble cast would be Persephone and crew inside Age of Swords. We do get this female crew of women who go on their own little Mines of Moria adventure inside Age of Swords, and each one of them have a different role to play. We have the leader, we have the warrior, we have the inventor, we have the mystic. I mean, they all have different roles to play and how they gel together as a group of women who are not related to one another. That was definitely my favorite part about this entire book. So this is Age of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. All right, my favorite male lead character. Like I said, I bet you're glad that I read this book in December. I finished this up on December 31st. This is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and my favorite male lead character is Kvothe. Now, he is a problematic character for some people, but not for me. I understood that he was the one telling the story, and so maybe he changed a few events, maybe he embellished a little bit. But the thing that you have to remember about Kvothe is that he grew up inside a troupe of actors, and so he has a little bit of the flair for some showmanship. And I think when he's telling the version of his story, he wants to tell the best story possible. His father was a storyteller and was a lute player and just told these incredible stories. And I think this is him seeing his own chance to be able to put his name into one of the greatest tales of all time. And so he's doing a little bit of embellishing. But if you think about it, I mean, some of the tales that people have heard about him, there has to be some truth to that. He is a character that a lot of tragedy has come into his life, whether it was done to him or done because of him, and I love him for it. So my favorite male character of the year is Kvothe. This is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. My favorite female character of the year is Little Miss Agniezka in Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I bet you some of you were wondering where this book was going to come in for my favorites of 2017. My favorite female characters both were Agniezka and Cassia. Their relationship, their friendship was just amazingly beautiful. I really related to the magic that Agniezka brought forth. I put in my spoilery review just kind of the ways that I related to how Agniezka performed her magic, and she's just her own pure thinker. She wants to live a simple life, but a simple life was not thrust upon her, and so the choices that she makes are just out of the goodness for the people that she has in her life and vice versa. The people that are in her life are just doing it because of the goodness and the love that they feel for her. This is Agniezka and Uprooted by Naomi Novik. You're gonna see this book one more time. Best romance of the year, The Dragon and Agniezka. I don't need to embellish a little bit too much on it, but I love the little push-pull that we get. I love their romance scenes because it's not a completely overwhelming amount of romance. It's just the right amount. It like just puts a little bit of a cherry on top of what you're already reading and already loving between these two characters. So my best romance of the year, it goes to Uprooted by Naomi Novik. And let's get into the best books of the year. So the best standalone, I'm going to keep this holding up here. My best standalone book of the year was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I said in the review that I thought that Naomi Novik gave us a really complete fantasy story in such a short amount of time. She was able to bring us a lot of action. We got some romance, we got some magic, we got a really great message, we got really great female friendships, family relationships, romance relationships. We get it all. We just get it all. So my best standalone book of the year was Uprooted by Naomi Novik. My best series of the year went to the Farseer Trilogy written by Robin Hobb. Some people say that this is not her strongest series, and that's fine, that's your opinion, but for me, Robin Hobb is the one who single-handedly turned my 2017 reading year around, and it all started with the Farseer Trilogy. I didn't find this to be slow and dragged on, and maybe that's because I grew up reading a lot of classical fantasy, so we do get a lot of passages that are maybe some slower, more descriptive passages than most people would prefer, but that's the kind of stuff that I love and that I fell in love with. So this is the Farseer trilogy. It was my best series of the year. That includes Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, and then of course Assassin's Quest. And then finally, to wrap us up, I have the book with the best finale, Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. I told you that the very ending of this book, the quest that Fitz goes on and the answers that he has found, or perhaps he didn't find them, it was all just so incredibly heart-wrenching. I was a wreck for the last several pages. This book to me was one of the 5-star books of the entire series. I rated a couple of them 4 stars. I rated this one 5 stars. For me, this was the right amount of pacing and discovery and action, just tear your heart out emotions. And so my best finale of the year went to Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. So there you go. I hope you like this sort of format of the best of the year and just gave it a little bit of a different spin on it, because you've heard me talk about these books for so long, but I just wanted to highlight the reasons why I thought they were some of the best books of the year, just with the characters, the writing, the action, the plots, the plot twists, all of that good stuff. So I hope you really enjoyed this format. Of course, if this is your first video of mine that you're watching, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so that way you get the notifications that I have just posted videos. And I hope you enjoyed all of the videos that I posted throughout this whole week. We did my meh books, we did my worst books, we did the books that I didn't get to, and finally we wrapped it up here with my best books of the year of 2017. Follow me on social media if you'd like to talk about any of these books. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Is that what Cass read, the same as this channel, so that way it's super easy to find. And you can also find me on Goodreads, so that way you can see the books that I'm currently reading and the rates that I'm giving them. And of course, thank you so much for joining me. You know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.